And here we go. It is a new year, January 5th, 2024. Same old show. The crew is back again. Dutch Mantell.
Well,
healthy, ready to rock and roll as soon as Sid and I can get him caught up on everything he's missed in the last 3 weeks. What is going on, Dutch? The people are happy to see you, good sir.
Well, I've been gone, and I've been, I said, I don't recommend taking a break like that for anybody. I highly disadvise against it. I didn't realize how serious it was till after I had, actually, I'd been there 10 days. Then I said, well, I guess I need to read up on this. And there is a whole week that I don't remember anything. Zero. My daughter would tell me, well, you did this and you did this. And I said, no, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And you said this and to a nurse or whatever, but I don't remember that. What I had was, it started with E. coli. That's pretty bad, E. coli.
Yeah.
I've just read some bad stuff about it. Then it turned into staph. Then I guess it's the sepsis or whatever they call it.
Sepsis, yeah.
And I was fighting all three of them, and it was like 5 days before I guess the cultures would take effect. And that was, they must have been shooting me through with some strong stuff, because I just do not remember those days at all. I was in one facility for, I guess, 6 days. I guess that was to keep me secluded. And then I guess once they got it under control, then they moved me to another type facility. But I was in the hospital about, I told Rick earlier, 22 to 20, something like 24 days in the month of December. And finally they said, well, we're going to let you go. And I got to looking around, and they said, well, because your insurance only pays up to this amount, this date. That's why they kicked my ass out. What if I was dying? You know what I mean? If I was dying, they said, well, we hate to set you out here, but you know, your insurance is not going to pay anymore. Screw that. But anyway, I survived it. I missed you guys. I missed doing the show. But guess what I cared about, how much I cared about the show when I was in the hospital? Zero, because I didn't even know it existed. I didn't even know I did this show. So I'm thinking, and when I went in, I was telling Rick, Sid, before you came on, they told me, they said they told me up early, but I don't remember it. They told me I had a 50-50 chance of beating this thing. That's not too good of odds, really. Yeah. But since they told me, and I'm glad I don't remember it, and during all that, I was in and out. So thanks for keeping me in mind. I did, after I came back too and got some of my senses back. I don't know. I hope you never run into a situation where you're at a place. I was in a hospital and I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what state I was in. I knew my name. That's about it. And I would look out the window and I said, where in the hell am I? And then they keep the door closed, like they was afraid to see me or something. And the nurses would run in every, I guess, 3 hours or so and hand me some more medicine, and out I'd go. But the deal is, I survived it. So people, if you ever hear of having any of those infectious diseases and they have no idea where it came from, of course, if they asked me, I would say wrestling. I would have to blame it on you guys. Probably doing this show. You probably gave it to me over the internet.
I mean, let's be honest, Dutch. I'm more likely to give you an aneurysm than anything.
I mean, that's true too. But anyway, hey guys, I'm glad to be back, and I hope I hope you had a good Christmas and a good New Year.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, kids had a really, really good Christmas, and hope everybody had a great New Year. We were off last week because gotta love WWE because they were doing best ofs, and absolutely nobody watched those. But more people are going to be tuning in tonight. The kickoff, New Year's Revolution, and we got a lot to talk about, and we'll dive into that. Lots of people saying, "Welcome back, Dutch. Glad to see you back." We appreciate all the well wishes, and we're glad that Dutch is back. Get your comments in, get your super chats in. We'll be reading as many of them as we can throughout the entirety of the show. The super chats, though, that's the way to guarantee that you get your comment read on the show. Welcome in, Rick Ucchino, Dutch Mantell, SP3. Got to run down our first SmackDown of the new year. Got to talk about the infusion of The Rock now into WrestleMania season. Definitely feels like he's going to be here for a hot minute. Whether or not he wrestles in Australia, whether or not he wrestles in Tampa, whether or not he wrestles in Philly, or all three, or a combination of two, I think we're getting a match. I think it's definitely safe to say we get in a match. Roman Reigns has now not one, not two, but three opponents. Could he possibly lose the title without even being pinned? I doubt it, but WWE is giving themselves that out now. We have a number one contender for the United States Championship. Mi Chin had the best match since she returned tonight against Io Sky. We have two new tag teams on the SmackDown roster, which means it might be time to finally bring some tag team titles over to the Blue brand now. Let's be completely honest there. But let's start here. Dutch, I know you missed a lot, but the most important thing that you missed over the last several weeks just happened this past Monday when The Rock showed up on the first episode of the new year. He had a funny exchange with Jinder Mahal where he altered the words to the national anthem and then whooped his candy ass and then said he was going to go out and grab some food, asked the crowd whether or not he needed to sit in a booth at the bar or at the head of the table. And then, Dutch, believe you me, the internet lost its god freaking mind over that because everybody immediately said, holy shit, here we go. It's Rock, it's Roman. And what the hell does this mean for Cody Rhodes? And frankly, Dutch, we still don't know.
No, we don't know.
What this is going to mean.
Cody don't know.
Cody don't know. But I'll tell you what, when Cody came out to do his promo on Monday, boy looked stressed. I don't know.
Like, Paul, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
I don't know what to tell you.
My pager and my home phone at the bottom. I left 2 letters back in 2023. You must have not have got them. There must have been a problem at WWE HQ or something. I don't know.
All right, Dutch, let's get your reaction to this. Last year, it seemed you had The Rock when he showed up on SmackDown, right after he did College Game Day with Pat McAfee. They did that great segment with it was a great.
I remember that.
Theory. Yeah,
I can remember that. Yeah,
Austin Theory's running around calling himself Mr. 23 million views or whatever the hell it was. And there was that teaser there that maybe we could get Rock versus Roman. That was something that he talked about on College Game Day. And then that kind of just went away, fizzled out. Reports were it's not really going to happen. Then we get the Cody Roman stare down, and Cody's been talking about finishing his story ever since. And all signs have been pointing to, all right, we're getting Cody Roman 2 at WrestleMania. Not so damn fast. Now we get Rock, who shows back up. He's challenging the head of the table. You have some people who are convinced that this match is going to happen at Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia, because the Australian government has been pitching for The Rock to be on this show. You have people who are sitting there saying, oh, well, they could just do Cody and Roman at Elimination Chamber, or they could have Roman drop the title at the Royal Rumble, and you could do Roman Rock for the tribal chief head of the table title there, because that's all that match needs. And you could do Cody beating somebody else for the WWE Championship. What is your take on this chaos that The Rock has now caused by showing back up in WWE?
They have a lot of doors open to them, and they can go through any one of them and not lose another door. But I do think that The Rock, getting a little late for him. So if he's going to do something, he's going to have to do it, I think, this year. And I think it's going to be WrestleMania. And what they do there, I don't know. That's up to them. But I would actually be interested in seeing that match just to see what kind of finish they had. because tonight, even in that 3-way, and they turned it into a 4-way, that was a good finish, I think. Sid didn't like it, but that was a good way to end that match and didn't hurt anybody. I was thinking like, wait a minute, all these guys, he's already beaten LA Knight. The only one he hasn't beaten is Randy Orton. And I said, well, they can't beat him. AJ, maybe, but they didn't do either one of it. See that?
Uh-oh.
Do we lose Dutch?
For a second, I thought it was me, but
No,
yeah.
I think he's having technical difficulties.
Of course. Why the hell not? Why the hell
Gotta
not?
keep it consistent.
Yes.
Gotta keep it consistent.
We are nothing but anything but if not inconsistent or consistent, whatever the hell I'm trying to say. Here we go.
Oh,
There you go.
I dropped out a minute. So
yep. What were you saying? Do you remember?
I can't remember now. My memory's gone. No, but I think it's all the signs to me are pointing to the Rock and Roman. They can't beat that. They can't beat it. I mean, Cody Rhodes, and we were talking just a minute ago. What's he thinking? I think Cody Rhodes at this point is an afterthought, even in the fans' mind. That's what I'm thinking. Wait a minute, can I remember that? Oh yeah, I can remember that. I'm thinking, oh yeah. All right. I'm going to predict. I'm predicting. Mark this down. It's going to be. They've spent too much time on Roman and Rock to not have it. And you said that he can have it at other venues. Yeah, they can. But it's not like having it at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
I think
this is the last match of The Rock's career. This is it. This is it for The Rock.
Yeah,
this is
it.
the unofficial retirement match. Like, this is the biggest match possible. This is why Roman's had the title for nearly 4 years. It's for this match. Like, that's what what I'm not getting is with the Cody Rhodes army, and maybe our good fans here at Sportskeeda WrestleBid can explain to me, when did the finishing the story get a deadline of WrestleMania 40? Did y'all just decide this after WrestleMania 39?
I feel like there's a lot of people out there who feel like WWE should have put the belt on Cody last year, and they owe it to him to give him a make good this year.
Oh, no. You don't owe anybody anything in professional wrestling. And Dutch Mantell, who has been in the business
owe him anything
for 5 decades, will tell you that. Like, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is some fan self-imposed type of thing. Like, that does not exist in this business. This business, you put the biggest money matchup at WrestleMania. And this, regardless of, people will say, oh no, WrestleMania, it's already sold. It's WrestleMania, it sells itself. Oh, they already got 60,000 people each night. That is all fine and dandy. These sponsors is going to give them another 6 to 7 figures because Hobbs from Fast and Furious is on the show, because the Scorpion King is on the show. That is why that guy is a bigger star than some guy with daddy issues. I'm sorry. I said it. His whole story is, my dad didn't do it, so I gotta do it. But there's no deadline on that. That's a story that can keep on going. And Paul Heyman completely sold me on what he said last year after WrestleMania. Do you remember what he said after last year's WrestleMania? We're only in the 3rd inning. And the masterclass promo that we got on this show was one of the best promos on WWE television in recent history, because it completely told me, it was his way of saying, we're only in the 5th inning, guys. we're only in the 5th inning, because he set up Rock. He was like, the Cody story, don't worry, it's still going. Happy for you, Cody fans. It's still going. It's still spinning here. We also got CM Punk, though, now. We got to spin that, because that's a big story, because I'm Paul Heyman. He's the original Paul Heyman guy. But I went to an advocate. Now I'm a wise man. We still got that going, too. But we also got all 3 of these guys that are fighting tonight. That's all fine and dandy. I got to sell Royal Rumble. I got to sell WrestleMania. Then after WrestleMania, I'm selling SummerSlam. Like, this ride, y'all think it was supposed to be over at WrestleMania 40.
That's the other part of it. That's the other part of it is you have so many fans who are ready for Roman's reign to end. They don't want another summer of what they just had where he won it and then he goes away for 6 months and then he comes back at SummerSlam. Because guess what, folks? If Roman walks into WrestleMania with the title and he's facing The Rock, he's walking out with the title again. It's done. It's a predictable finish. They're not going to have a guy who hasn't wrestled in over a decade who's 51 or 52 or 53 or however it is beat Roman Reigns. He ain't doing it. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. It's a predictable finish. We already know how that is going to end. Roman wins. 1, 2, 3. Done.
Dutch, do you want to answer this one or do you want me to answer this one?
That's an opinion, Rick.
Yeah, that's literally.
A lot of fans wanted it over last year with Cody.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like,
they need to be. This is one of the greatest stories.
He set up his argument with something that is not a factual thing. Yeah, there's some fans that were upset that Roman wasn't around all year. But guess what happened? WWE had its most financial and profitable year in history. It had no repercussions, no consequence.
Sure.
So you can keep the title on Roman and it will have no consequence. They will keep selling tickets. They will keep selling out. And 2024 will be bigger than 2023 because y'all will keep coming. Y'all have not gave them any consequence of keeping the title on Roman Reigns. So they will keep the title on Roman Reigns.
Why are you yelling at me like I don't already know this? I'm just throwing out the arguments that you were asking me for.
I know. I am talking.
I said the same thing about the NFL. People bitching about the referees. People bitching about the referees, and there needs to be accountability. Nothing's gonna fucking change until you guys stop going to the games and 24 million people stop tuning in on Christmas to watch the NFL. There's gonna be no accountability because y'all ain't giving them a reason for accountability. I know this. Quit yelling at me.
No, I'm just presenting Cody fans.
I know the special counsel for Cody Rhodes fans here. I'm giving you the arguments.
You're a vessel. You're a vessel for me to yell at these Cody fans and you let them know.
That word. A vessel.
You're a vessel.
I've been called worse.
You're a vessel for the pro Cody fans who believe that the finishing the story has to happen at WrestleMania 40. Oh, it's like Rocky. It's back in Philadelphia. You're going to do the video with Cody running up the stairs. Oh, fine and dandy. Oh, that's great. Sponsors don't give a crap about that.
The other thing that we hadn't mentioned, Dutch, that if you look at all three of the brands right now, right? You look at all three of the brands. Two of them, we know where they're going. All right. When the rights deals switch over later on this year, we know that NXT is going to the CW. We know that SmackDown is moving over to USA Network. Raw don't have a home yet. So if you can,
that sounds like a country song.
Yeah. If you can keep throwing out The Rock on Monday Night Raw here or there, and he's around for the build up to WrestleMania, ratings are going to be higher. It's going to make WWE more profitable, going to make them more money when they can sell Monday Night Raw. The only issue is that Roman's on SmackDown, so you're going to have to put more Rock on SmackDown than you are on Raw, but you can find a way to shoehorn him in.
So what you're saying is they actually know what they're doing.
Sure seems like it. Yeah.
They just don't put a map on the wall with a dart and throw it. They know where they're going. So that's the expert part of being in business for 50 years. And knowing how the trends, fluctuate back and forth. But I will still, let's just take a vote. I say Rock is at WrestleMania.
Oh, I think for sure. I think you can mark it down with pen after what we've seen this week that it's going to be Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. Unless this is the only thing, right? The bean counters go to Triple H and say, well, we'd actually make more money if you put that match in Australia. If they find a way to mathematically say, hey, you can make more money by putting that match at Elimination Chamber, they'll do that. That's where that match is going to be, whatever makes them the most money, because cash is king.
Yeah,
but history wise, WrestleMania is their stage.
Yeah.
That's what they go back to. They talk about WrestleMania 30 and WrestleMania whatever. The Rock being at this WrestleMania makes it, and it puts it above automatically all the other WrestleManias.
But there has
this
been
is the biggest WrestleMania they can have. Has been what?
I was going to say there has been this push to eliminate like B-level pay-per-views. That's why you have the backlashes and you have the elimination chambers. They're going all international. You're going to Germany, you're going to France, you're going to Australia. They're trying to make these big international spectacles, and it's almost like they're trying to eliminate outside of WrestleMania, granted, and maybe SummerSlam in the Royal, like eliminate like there's no big four. They're all big events. They're all huge, massive events, and you can set the tone by putting The Rock there in Elimination Chamber. I don't think that's what they're going to do, but if it makes sense from a business standpoint, again, to put The Rock in Australia and not in Philadelphia, heck, you could do both. Honestly, if you probably wanted to, if his schedule is available.
I was waiting for you to get there, Rick. I was just waiting for you to get there so I can help you out here, because the report never
pick you apart like a chicken.
Because the original report about the Australian government said that they want The Rock. Never said anything about Rock Roman. Like people jump. No. People. This is why people jump. They jump to things. They only want The Rock. And Paul Heyman's promo set it up perfectly. He was like, no one gets a free pass to here, so why don't you just book Rock in like a match to get to WrestleMania and Australia? You accomplish the same thing. You can still do Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. Rock can beat somebody or be in a chamber and be number 6 out of the chamber, do a couple of moves and win the chamber match. It does, like, there's ways around this. There's ways around this to get him ready, and he'll be perfectly fine for WrestleMania, and you still get The Rock in Australia. People jumped from Australia wants The Rock, so they want Rock and Roman. No, they never said that. They just want Rock. Roman's not even advertised for Australia, guys.
That's what I said. That's what I said. It's like Roman hasn't been advertised for Australia. Like, are you kidding me? Like, Rhea Ripley is main eventing that pay-per-view. Like, come on. Let's be honest. I don't know who her opponent's going to be, but she's main eventing that damn pay-per-view. Let's be completely honest here. So, hell, they probably just wanted him for a freaking promo. They didn't even have to do a match. He could just got a promo.
Do the contract signing for him and Roman.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a meet and greet. That's all they want him for. Like, he just go out and sign some pictures.
The more I have thought about this, because immediately, I granted, I was one of those Cody guys who was ready for him to finish his story in the main event of WrestleMania 4.
Yeah, I remember you two guys were disappointed with that finish.
Last year?
With Cody.
No, he loved it. Sid loved it.
I was calling that finish for like since January. I was like, you got to do the 1,000. Remember, Dutch, my whole campaign. For Roman getting to 1,000. I was like, who cares about that story? You got to get to 1,000. We're never going to see it again. So, but they convinced me with the buildup that Cody was going to do it. So when he didn't do it and the way they executed, that's why I was disappointed with the finish, because I felt like there was other ways they could have got to the same finish. The whole convoluted Solo Sikoa coming out in the hoodie after he's always been thrown out. It felt like WCW.
Boy, I tell you, you can't compete with Sid for remembering details and finishes. He's talking, I'm saying, oh my God, I don't even know. I know what he's talking about, but I don't remember nothing like that. Even if I could remember.
I remember that. I remember every moment of that because I was on the floor watching that match go down and just felt the air drain out of SoFi Stadium when that 3 count happened, except for like one guy in like section 121 that was holding up his fist. Everybody else in that fucking building was pissed off. I'll never forget the feeling of just total deflation, total defeat. And then Cody Rhodes gets hit with a freaking rubber chicken. Like, like, I'm like, damn, they did him dirty. Not as dirty as they did the Monday night afterwards, where he just got killed by Brock Lesnar, but at least they made up for that at SummerSlam. The only thing, like, the more I had thought about this, though, because I'm a smart human being. Okay, I can change my mind. I can be swayed from one way or another, and I'm stubborn to stick in my ways. I was pissed initially thinking about it because I feel like Cody's kind of earned that spot over the last year, and I'm at my core, I hate part-timers coming in and taking spots from full-time people, but I understand it from a business standpoint. It's The Rock, whatever. The thing that I think bothers me the most about this is it takes one of the more unpredictable Royal Rumbles and now makes it the most predictable Royal Rumble. CM Punk is winning the Royal Rumble. Like CM Punk is winning unless The Rock shows up, CM Punk's winning the Royal Rumble.
I mean, my question to you is, was Cody Rhodes like a more interesting and intriguing option than CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble? I think once CM Punk came back, I was like, oh, yeah, they should do that. I was like, they should definitely do that.
I would have gone with Punk regardless, but I wanted, and we still might get it, right? But I wanted that feeling of sitting in the chair there at Tropicana Field, Cody, CM Punk, the last two guys in the match, and genuinely having no clue who was going to win that. And just sitting on the edge of my seat.
You still got that. There's not going to be any reports that confirm we're getting Rock and Roman before Royal Rumble. So you still can get that. You still can get that feeling. There can still be that feeling in the air that people believe Cody Rhodes is going to finish his story at WrestleMania 40.
Could you imagine the confusion if Cody wins the Royal Rumble, though?
Don't confuse it anymore. That's what it doesn't need. More confusion.
Thanks.
But this is what makes wrestling what it is. Because you can't, we used to say things like, oh, that was so predictable. We all knew that. But now we don't know. We're all guessing. We're all throwing thoughts out there. It could be this. It could be that. Hell, the fans are more confused than we are. Well, no, I don't think anybody's more confused than I am. But that's a good thing. If they buy a ticket, they go and they see what they see, and if they're happy with it, that's fine. But they're still a fan. I don't care really what they do, as long as it's not just a really trashy finish, which I think WWE is about done with those finishes.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, right? Like, we sit here and talk about this because we watch all these shows and we live and die with every minute. There are so many people.
I don't.
I understand what you're saying. I get it, Dutch. I knew I messed up the second I said that. But people like myself and Sid, the hardcore fans, pretty much anybody who watches AEW, right? Like the hardcore wrestling fans, we live and die with every single minute, and we know every little detail, and we can predict and go. There's such a bigger audience for WWE, a bigger slice of the pie, who has no idea who's winning the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And they don't care. And they're going to go there and they're going to enjoy the hell out of it. And they're going to love it. And at WWE makes a ton of money off those casual fans and lets the rest of us just bitch into the ether that is Twitter. That's pretty much it.
Well,
don't worry.
Well, we make money on it just talking about it because people want to hear it. Well, I don't make as much as you guys, but I'm
man, you make more than both of us combined, probably.
Oh, stop it. He's too much.
I'm making scraps. I'm about to talk to Manny and get me a raise because we can be getting these Colin Curtis.
I think you need to talk to this Sid here. He's
now let me ask.
Well, let me appease Cody fans real quick. Cody fans, don't worry. All of this is going to be a part of the story. You can have Rock in the chamber. But it comes down to Rock, Cody, and Randy Orton. Cody eliminates Randy. Randy RKOs him. Rock wins, and it sets up Cody and Randy at WrestleMania.
I was going to say that has to be the route, right? If Cody's not involved in any kind of title match, it's got to be Randy and Cody at WrestleMania. That has to be the backup.
That story writes itself.
It does. There's so much meat on that bone. It's not even.
Yeah, but in Cody's defense, he's doing the long struggle.
Long.
Cody did. Dusty
so
did not
much
do
adversity.
Yeah, and Cody. Dusty didn't do it in 6 months. Took him a couple of years. But he talked about hard times. That's what it is. So I think the longer it takes him, the better for him, because he's trying to live up to his dad. And can he get there or can he not get there?
Like honestly, the only real disappointment outside of the finish of Cody and Roman is that they didn't do a Dusty finish. They definitely should have had Cody hit the crossroads. The ref counts to 1, 2, 3 and doesn't see Roman's foot under the ropes. So you can have the moment and they can always go back to it that Cody had the same exact moment that his dad did of thinking he won and then he lost it. Come on. How did you miss out on that opportunity?
Because Vince was still calling the shots at that point and he don't give a shit.
He didn't give a shit.
No, he didn't.
Kevin
I guarantee
Dunn,
you that Triple H would have booked that finish because Triple H actually cares about wrestling history. Vince couldn't remember what match he booked 2 weeks ago.
I agree.
Let me. There's one other thing I want to talk about because we are going to get into more of the SmackDown parts of things, I promise. But we got a super chat from Roland Curtis. I'm glad you mentioned The Rock's age. Fans may be deluded from seeing Hogan, Flair, and Funk wrestle forever. Rock was breathing very hard. Charlotte may never do another moonsault again. Age is real. Look, first off, Charlotte had surgery. She is in day 1 of recovery, and we wish her the absolute best. I guarantee you she'll be doing moonsaults again. It was one of those freak accidents, but hopefully she's back in 9 months or maybe even less. Sucks that she's going to miss out on WrestleMania season. But as far as The Rock on Monday, man, dude was out there. It was jacked up, hell of a crowd. He was hyped. I think he'll get, if he's going to wrestle a match in April, I think he'll get the cardio up. I think he'll be just fine. At least I hope he's going to be. That man ain't wrestled in 10 years and he's jacked out of his mind, but so is Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle will tell you he could not move the way that he did when he was sitting for just a few months, not 10 years. So it's going to be very interesting to see what The Rock can do. If he can get in the ring, I'm looking forward to see, and I'm hoping he can deliver another great match. I'm hopeful.
Plus, Roman is going to be helping him every step of the way. Oh,
hell yeah.
Roman is going to be saying, if he looks like he's blowing up, well, we're going to slow down a second, get your wind, and let's go again. But I don't think that's going to happen.
You know what that match is going to be? That match is going to be Rock Hogan. Go back and watch Rock Hogan at WrestleMania. That wasn't no 5-star, 6.5-star, whatever the hell Sid wants to give it classic. That was just two men smacking each other with a hype crowd losing their damn minds because the guys were just standing in the ring and they never thought they would see that. That's what this match is going to be. I still think it's going to be good because Roman is at the top of his game right now and he can carry a broom handle to a 5-star match if he really wanted to. There's going to be a lot of heat that The Rock is going to take, which is great because he's an actor. He can sell his ass off. He'll make his cousin look good. He'll be able to make his comeback, do his own version of the 5 moves of doom, maybe do a little bit of his chain wrestling flip up stuff that he likes to do. Say, yeah, I still got it. And that's it. That's all it's going to be. Then he's going to eat like 10 spears and he's going to get pinned. But I digress. We got plenty of time to wait till we see that match, but it's going to be all atmosphere. I can't wait to be there for it. Now, you are going to have people, and there's already been people in the chats. I've already seen people on Twitter. I already brought up the possibility on the intro today. With what we saw in the main event tonight, it was AJ Styles, it was LA Knight, and it was Randy Orton. Winner was supposed to face Roman Reigns one-on-one at Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns decides to come out and take out the field, so Nick Aldis is like, F you. You're going to fight all 3 of them. So now it's a fatal 4-way, Dutch. They have left the door open to have somebody win the title in Royal Rumble and not have Roman lose. You could have Randy Orton give an RKO to LA Knight, pin him, and he is a 15-time world champion. And now you could do Randy and Cody, and you could still do Rock Roman. You could have The Rock screw him over at the Royal Rumble and take Roman out of the matchup. You could do something like that to take the title off of Roman, because The Rock on Monday, he never mentioned the world championship. He said he was coming for the title of the head of the table. He wants to be the tribal chief. He wants to run the family. That is what is on the line with that match.
That's a whole different.
So you were going to have people who are going to argue that match doesn't need the championship. So Dutch, does that match need the championship though?
The 4-way?
No, Rock Roman. Does it need the title? Does it need the title at WrestleMania?
I don't think it needs a title. I think Rock by himself, I mean, the title accents it, but do they really need it? No, not if they do the right thing. They want to see The Rock one more time. One more time. They want to see The Rock in a match that means something against the guy that means something, which is Roman. So if they fashion that right, if they sculpt that creature right, no, it's not needed. But I would like to see it myself. I would like to see versus the title.
Sid,
but I wouldn't want to see. But I wouldn't want to see. I wouldn't want to see Roman lose it, but he'd have to do something.
Yeah, look, it gives them the out. I don't think they're going to do it, SP3. I still think Roman is walking into Philly as the WWE champion, but they have now given themselves an out. If they want to go another route, if they want to have Rock Roman close the show for, the right to run the family and not have the title be involved, because you could have The Rock do something where it's like, okay, you want to laugh at me? That's what we saw Roman Reigns do. That was his reaction to what The Rock said on Monday. The man just laughed in his face almost. And it's like, okay, you want to laugh at me? I'll get your damn attention. I'll whoop your ass at the Royal Rumble. I will cost you what you love so dearly, and now you have to pay attention to me. So he screws Roman. You could have Randy win the title by beating either AJ Styles or LA Knight. Cody could win the Royal Rumble, and then all of a sudden it's Cody Randy for the title. Rock Roman, main event night 2 of WrestleMania. Everybody wins. They could do that. Should they do that?
I hate to do this, but I'm going to ask a question with a question. I'm going to answer a question with a question to both of you.
Yes, go ahead.
Maybe, yes, Rock versus Roman Reigns, 2 huge stars, does not need the title. Does the title need Rock versus Roman Reigns? And my answer to that would be yes, because why would this title go from night 2 main event at WrestleMania 37, Roman Reigns and Bryan Danielson and Edge, night 2 of WrestleMania in 2022, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns combining the 2 top titles. Last year at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, the main event of night 2, and then night 2 at WrestleMania. What? Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton going to open the show? They ain't main event in night 2. They ain't main event in night 1 with CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
No,
so
they probably open night 2.
Doesn't that kind of devalue the title? So yeah, the title needs Rock and Roman, and I think that's what the people that make that kind of the argument of does Rock and Roman need the title? They're not asking the inverse question of does the title need Rock and Roman? And that's an easy answer. Yes.
Yeah. No, I can't argue with you. 100%. It would be, you would be taking your top title, which has been the biggest prize in sports entertainment for almost 4 years now. So it's like, all right, well, who's going to be the guy to take it off of Roman? And that's why I actually hate that finish at the Royal Rumble, because it is such a cop-out to this long reign of.
I like when you were explaining that to me, I was just like, man, imagine, like, Dutch, I'm an historian. I thought, imagine if Bruno Sammartino lost to Stan Stasiak, but it was in a 4-way matchup where Stan Stasiak pinned superstar Billy Graham. Imagine that's how Bruno Sammartino's legendary reign ended. Imagine if it's like imagine if Honky Tonk Man's longest reigning Intercontinental title reign ended at SummerSlam 1988, not by Ultimate Warrior coming in and squashing him, Ultimate Warrior winning a 4-way matchup. Like, y'all guys don't think about that scenario ending all the other legendary title runs. Does that devalue the title run? Kinda, so don't do that.
Yeah, it's like Gunther losing the IC title in a ladder match or some shit. Like, it's the same thing. So, yes, we can sit here and we can argue. It's all going to come down to what's most important for WWE, but I don't think that there's going to be a way, Dutch, where they can appease everybody. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
But if you have 100,000 people there, you've already appeased them. You sold them a ticket. All the pay-per-view buy rates, it's already there. All you got to do now, I think, just go straight up and do what you're going to do. That's what they bought the pay-per-view for. That's what they bought the ticket for, to see what they're going to do. They're not like us. Oh, I want to see what that damn booking team comes up with. No, they want to see what these 2 guys do and how it's constructed, put together. Is it good? Is it entertaining, and is it believable enough? And then they'll pop. Of course, we can go back to the same thing they said about the guy in Montreal, Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
How many people screamed that he didn't win it there? They screamed and screamed, oh, it was the plate, the roof would have come off. Yeah, the roof would have come off there, but now they got to go back to the books and kind of rewrite everything. And I don't think the creative team is really keen on rewriting that whole thing. That's a lot of work. But I think Roman has turned out to be, I think, a better champion than they ever thought he would be. Because remember when he came back and he was a baby face, nobody was buying him at all. Then they turned him heel. Then they really wasn't buying him. But they took their time. This is even when Vince was there, and took their time. And then slowly, they told enough of a story with him. Now he started to get over. Now he's over. Now that's why you don't see him every week. You don't have to see him every week. Just the mention of his name is enough to set him on fire. Hence, when The Rock said, I want to sit maybe at the head of the table, the place went nuts because they know what he's talking about. They've done a magnificent job with this. So I don't care what to do. Just take with whatever you've done and continue the story. Remember, how long ago was it that Triple H says the story never ends?
That was WrestleMania press conference last year.
And the story never ends. They'll just take whatever they got now and attach it to what they've already done and continue the story. That's the beauty about wrestling. If they have that attitude, they got a 10-year run ahead of them. Easy.
Adam Hunt saying, so let me guess, Roman Reigns will finally lose the title when he is 100 years old. Look, if he walks out of Philly, I would start ticking the clock at SummerSlam. That's when I would start ticking the clock on this one.
Guys, I don't care about when it is over. I just care about getting Rock and Roman because that's what this whole title run has been about.
Yes, just do one thing at a time.
Like he gave you. Rock was supposed to get the matchup at 39. He gave Cody his spot. Why can't Cody give him his spot this year? It's only right.
Hey, Rick, what did you say about Cody? He looked a little bit discombobulated. Was that tonight?
I don't think that was the word. I think stressed is the word I used.
Oh, stress.
He looked a little stressed on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, WWE, they don't let out everything they're going to do, even to the guys who are going to do it.
He looked like a guy.
A lot of big finishes have been left.
Cody looked like a guy who might have regretted putting pen to paper when he saw Dwayne walk in. When he had just freshly signed that contract extension, and he sees Dwayne walk in, and he's like, "Shit." I feel like that's what.
Well, I don't really think that. I think he's glad to be where he is and making the money that he is. Remember, if he didn't have this, he might still be in AEW making whatever he was making decent over there, I heard. But he's not making WWE money in AEW. I don't think.
And his merch has been selling like crazy. Like what, top two in the entire company?
He was number one for 2023.
Yeah. So he's making them money. He's making money. I think he's fine. I'm just joking. Roland Curtis with another super chat. Thank you so much. Didn't Triple H and Jericho for the WWE title get the last match over Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18? Yes, it did. Nobody remembers. Will Triple H place Rock versus Roman under?
I damn sure don't remember.
Like why would Triple H repeat bad decisions? Yeah. Like Triple H is responsible for 2 different WrestleManias that he had no business main eventing. Triple H versus Jericho at WrestleMania 18 had no business coming on after Rock versus Hogan.
And he'll tell you that.
And Triple H versus Randy Orton had no business coming on after HBK and Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. And Triple H has gone on record and said both of those things. So I don't know. I don't think Triple H would repeat the same mistakes of his career.
Yeah, no. And I can understand the thinking behind those decisions of, oh, well, these are our title matches. This is what needs to be going on last. I respect that thinking, because it's the same thing. What we've just talked about. Well, what if Cody and Randy open the show with WWE Championship and just said that devalues the title? But when you have these unworldly, once in a lifetime type matches that should be the main event, regardless of the circumstances. Yeah, that's what should be the main event. So if you're going to get Rock and Roman, that's going to be your main event. We do know what we're getting at the Royal Rumble, and it's going to be Kevin Owens going for the United States Championship against Logan Paul. He defeated Santos Escobar tonight. This one, early on, level playing field after Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro return. They took out Humberto and Angel Garza, knocked them up the rampway there, much to the chagrin of Santos Escobar. I thought this was a really good opening match. I loved tonight, guys, how they went right into the action. No bull crap, no 20-minute, hey, the bell don't ring until 9:30 after commercial, or excuse me, 8:30 after commercials. It was, we're in the ring, we're going, we have action. KO wins this one with a pop-up powerbomb stunner combo, and then he lays out a trash-talking Logan Paul to close out the entire segment. We knew we were going to get Kevin Owens pretty much winning this thing from jump, but now that it's over, now that it's happened, Dutch, what'd you think of the opener tonight?
Oh, it was a good match. Good match. And they didn't drag out the finish. It was bam, let's go. They told the story. Now if they book a match, now they have a reason to book the match. I liked it. So it did its job.
Yeah, SP3, I kind of thought after last week, I didn't know really when the LWO was going to kind of come back onto the main roster. I know they were doing their thing on NXT this week. Wasn't quite sure when they would make their return. I thought maybe they'd pivot there and they'd have Santos and, Angel and Humberto maybe feud with Lashley and the Street Profits for a little bit heading into Royal Rumble and then bring the LWO back. But now that the LWO is back, makes a ton of sense for what we saw in the next segment, which we'll get to. But yeah, I don't mind this. And I think this is something that can play out and progress inside the Rumble match itself in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think this is all leading to kind of keeping Santos busy until Rey Mysterio comes back, because I think that's going to be his WrestleMania program. He'll probably work a match with Rey on one of the nights of WrestleMania. And I thought he looked really good. He had a strong effort here. He looked good in defeat before taking a loss to Kevin Owens, who was the logical pick in this one. But they had really good chemistry together, and I really enjoyed this one.
Anybody think KO wins the title at Rumble?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
We do get the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley cutting a promo in the ring tonight, saying 2023 didn't quite go their way, but 2024 is going to be a different story. Talking about the Street Profits winning the tag titles. Bobby Lashley, he's going to get back to being the almighty. He enters the Royal Rumble. And then we get Karrion Kross showing up, which is like, okay, maybe that explains why Karrion Kross and Lashley fought each other in the opening round of this U.S. title contender tournament. And then he's not alone, SP3. Scarlett's there, of course. And we get Paul showing up. And then for the first time in like 4 years, and for the first time since they signed back with the company like 18 months ago, we get AOP back in the ring. They come out. They attack, they lay out street business, and now we have this big super faction complete with two managers, Karrion Kross and AOP. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. This is a completely new direction for Karrion Kross, SP3, that he desperately needed.
Yeah. It's something interesting for once for Karrion Kross. I'm willing to give this a chance. AOP looked very impressive. They've always been a very good monster tag team. They just really wasn't giving a strong enough role on the main roster. They really got their strongest role towards the end of their run when they were paired up with Seth Rollins and his Messiah gimmick before they were let go from the company. So I felt like this is a good pairing. It helps out Karrion Kross, makes him feel like a bigger star, and I'm hopeful that this is for the best for him. Am I doubting that it is? We shall see.
You don't look very optimistic there, Dutch.
What's the name of the big AOP?
Authors of Pain. Authors of Pain.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. They're trying to take Karrion Kross, do something with him, put him with this other team. I'm going to have to say that they have the same effect on me who did I say dead on arrival? The
Maximum male models.
Man, you are not about to throw AOP and maximum male models in the same category.
No, but the whole thing is it's still dead on arrival. Nothing's going to happen. They're not going to move nothing. I don't think they'll sell a ticket. They may unsell some tickets, but they just don't grab me. They're not exciting. And them beating up the Street Profits, I don't care. I mean, as a fan.
The crowd did tonight, though. I think they made a smart pivot with them because Lashley and the Street Profits were supposed to be heels, and they were heels for a hot minute. And then all of a sudden, Lashley's getting these big ovations, and they're like, nah, maybe we should pivot and still have them be baby faces. And they seem to be baby faces now.
That may be a way to turn them babyface. That's okay. But they're not going to do anything. They may go through 3 or 4 matches and then it's gone. I don't know what they could do with this anyway. I don't think you could get heat on Karrion Kross if you took a gallon of gasoline and threw it on him and then threw a match on him. I don't think you could get no heat on him.
God,
I think he'd just be. I think he'd just be standing there saying, "Tick tock, tick." You know, oh goddamn, give me some water. Now, why did you say that? Why did you say that, Rick?
Say what?
No, I like the guy, but you can't get heat on him. How long have they tried to get heat on? Said a year.
He came back to the company, like a year, 2 years.
A year to get heat on.
It's going on 2 years now.
And guess how much they got on him? 0. Yeah. If you can't get heat on somebody in that amount of time, hell, you could get more heat out of him than just him sitting there at ringside and putting the camera on him every now and then. Then you say, why are they showing that guy? Then if he does something, you may have some heat on him. But
I won't front.
The match was okay.
Before they started this whole thing in the lead up to bringing in AOP, I would have put Karrion Kross in the same tier as the hit row as far as Triple H additions to the roster.
I would have agreed with that. They have not booked him well at all. They haven't booked him well since he came up to the main roster, and that's dating back to the gimp suit that they had him in the first.
But I don't know how you could book him really. He can probably get over if he's the only heel there, but he's not. They got all these other heels that just, that shine, and he sits there like a burnout light bulb. So
yeah, like this is an act that I would feel much more confident in if it debuted on NXT.
I would
like if they had debuted on NXT, I'd be like, yo, they could take over. You could have Cross win the NXT championship again. You can have AOP win the tag team titles again. But this debut, I was just like, okay, but like you kind of have to win a title to kind of be like a prominent stable now. And
like that's what I feel about Lashley and the Street Profits. They ain't done shit since they came. They're like, it felt like Damage Control, like all over again. We're here to take over. How about you win a fucking match first? Like you come in here, you cut out a promo like, oh, we're going to take over and everything's going to be, we're going to be this dominant faction. You can't have people go out there and cut promos like that and then lose consistently. Like that doesn't do anything for them.
It really just seems like AJ, Bobby Lashley, there's a group of main eventers that were main eventers before Triple H took over that like he keeps them at a certain level, but he doesn't really present them as main eventers anymore.
And that's where he wants them.
Yeah. Because
they're not challenging his top guys. I mean, I don't think it's hurting anybody, and it's not hurting even AJ. AJ he's still making the same amount of money. It may not be over as much, but I think you got to give Triple H some credit on this because he's holding who he's pushing down. He's keeping it in check. You know who I'm surprised they're not pushing stronger is let me remember his name. Who's the guy in the three-way? The baby face with AJ.
LA Knight.
Not LA Knight. They kind of laid off on him. But
Randy Orton.
Orton. Yeah. I thought they'd be pushing him a lot stronger because I was watching Orton tonight. He is head and shoulders with his facials, the way he looks. He looks like if you met him in a street alley, you'd back up. Because he looks about half insane, and that was been his deal anyway. But I thought they would push him a little stronger because he's a guy that would actually fit in with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I thought that that's what they were gonna do. They were gonna have Orton win this matchup, but this seems like a pivot. This seems like a pivot. It seemed like this was gonna be Orton, and now they pivot to the 4-way matchup. Where I think that the reason that they're pivoting is probably keep Orton strong so he can lose to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, guys.
Oh yeah. Keep that quiet. Keep it quiet.
Well, I'm just gonna whisper it so the Cody fans don't hear us. You see, they don't want Randy to lose since he's been back, so he can lose at WrestleMania, and it means more for Cody. It's all about the story.
Lynn saying LA Knight deserves some type of gold. He'll get it at WrestleMania. He'll beat Logan Paul for the United States Championship. I think you can mark that one down in pen. Although, who knows? We'll see. Let's just get him on the card first.
It kind of seemed like they were still kind of spinning that plate of LA Knight and AJ Styles in the triple threat. Like they kept going at it with each other. They seemed more occupied with each other than Orton a lot of times. So
AJ's got something to do. Maybe it's a triple threat for the United States Championship. You can do that. I mean, look, there's going to be there. We've talked about all these dudes and how like they used to be main event. Like this card is going to be so damn ridiculous at WrestleMania. Just the top 6 matches by themselves already that seem to be set in stone now at this point. Holy crap. That's worth the price alone. And we still have no idea who Gunther's even going to face at WrestleMania at this point. We did have a WWE Women's Championship match tonight. Io Sky defeating Michin. This one was a lot more competitive than I was expecting.
That was a good match.
This was an opportunity is what this was for Michin tonight. And I think she delivered, man. Like she had some really strong offense. I thought the top rope styles clash was phenomenal, pun intended. The flop on the outside, like she went for it and it looked like it hurt a shit ton. But Io ends up getting the win with the over the moon salt.
How much, just for reference?
Yes.
How much does a shit ton hurt?
A shit ton.
Don't be ambiguous. Just tell them a shit ton that hurt.
I mean, she landed directly. I mean, I don't know how she was able to breathe, honestly, with the way that she landed. She went for it and she sold it and it looked great. I thought these two had really strong chemistry tonight. This was an opportunity for Michin, and I think she delivered.
Great match. Yep, she did. Great match for both of them. So, you like it, Sid?
And I don't hate to see their SP3 because it gives Io another successful title defense, which she needs more of.
This was the best match of Michin's career in WWE, in my opinion. And I thought that this was another great addition to Io's reign that's had nothing but really good TV matches. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was the high for ratings on the night because Io seems to always increase viewership as well. Her title reign has been a hit in the ratings. It's been a hit in quality in the ring. She's got this match. She got the match with Charlotte, the match with Asuka on TV. The matches on pay-per-view. She has delivered in every single way, and the Damage Control story still going on at the same time. This was great.
We did get a backstage segment after this match with Bayley. They're celebrating. You got all the Damage Control there. Bayley's laying out her master plan for, the Kabuki Warriors to win the tag team titles, and she's going to win the Royal Rumble, and she's going to challenge Rhea Ripley. And then we get Bianca, who's going to interject herself and say, no, that sounds great, but you're out in front of your skis on this one. I'm actually going to win the Royal Rumble. I'm going to go on to challenge Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And I'm sitting here, I'm going, yeah, they could honestly probably do one or the other at this point. I would like to think that the story here is Bayley versus Io. Bayley finally getting kicked out of Damage Control at some point, whether she wins the Royal Rumble and then gets the Randy Orton evolution treatment or something else happens, right? This split seems like it's been coming for a while now. And Bayley has kind of done her job with Damage Control. The group has been elevated. They are over. They are a strong like all the leadership positions are locked, sealed, and delivered if you take Bayley out of the equation. She has done her job, and she is ready for her own personal redemption story, which could start with a Royal Rumble win. But the Charlotte Flair injury is a major stone in the pond here, and I don't know what the ripple effect is going to be because Bianca doesn't have a clear-cut opponent anymore. Now, somebody else could emerge over the next few months, but if it seemed like we were heading toward Bianca Charlotte, whether it was for the title or whether it was whatever, there was a story there you could tell without the championship. But, yeah, could they continue Bianca's feud with Damage Control for 4 more months after it's already been going on for 18 months almost now at this point? Do they continue that stretch or do they go in a different direction?
So
Bianca's kind of left on an island right now without Charlotte. It seems
Charlotte won't be back for 9 months.
Yeah, she's out for Mania season.
Well, they'll come up with something. So, but Charlotte's going to be back in 9 months, maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
Is that how long she's going to be out? Well, anyway,
she tore everything.
I didn't much like
9 months in the earliest.
I don't really like the interview with Bianca. I just didn't. It didn't grab me because she walks in there with 5 girls. I'm thinking, well, hell, they beat the shit out of everybody else. Why don't they just beat the shit out of her right now? That's what I'm thinking as a fan. Because you see all that stuff in the ring, and all of a sudden she's standing there and she's saying, oh, by the way, and she was too casual with it, I think. Maybe she'd have come up with a stick or something and said, hey, don't even think about it. Because I got to tell you something, girl. Now it's kind of, she could have got the same point across in a different way, in an aggressive way. So, and it would have answered a lot of questions.
Oh, I'm a freaking idiot. I totally forgot about
this. Rick went into meditation right then. Did you see him?
Oh man, what happened? Yeah,
he went into meditation, Rick.
Yeah, that's it.
Ozzy with the big stick, the big swing.
I already had that in my head before Ozzy.
I forgot about that report. I forgot all about the report. It's been all about Mercedes this week. I forgot about Naomi coming back.
I was like, they got themselves a contingency plan. People, Bianca Belair versus another very talented black female wrestler. That's what we're going to get. It's either going to be Jade Cargill coming in and starting with Bianca Belair, but I feel like the better story is Naomi coming in, returning, getting a big return pop, and then turning heel and targeting Bianca Belair and saying that Bianca took her spot.
I mean, if they do bring Naomi back, do they put her in the bloodline finally?
We're only in the 5th inning, guys. We didn't even get to the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, we're not even there yet.
Naomi, a part of the bloodline. Oh man, this 5th inning might go on for a couple of years.
I mean, it would be hilarious to just have her walk in there, enter as a member of the bloodline, and get her clowning ass husband back on on the top of his game. Like, will you stop with the bullshit and just focus and be as successful as your brother is? Oh, there's a story to be told.
There is something there. And you say, and you can tell if the crowd reacts. I said, uh-oh, where's this going?
I mean,
actually, I like that, Rick. Okay, WWE Creative, if you use it, we're suing you. It was our idea. So don't even think about it.
Just cut me a royalty check. I'm cheap.
Give me a media ticket. I'm good.
Yeah, Kevin says Jade Cargill will win the Women's Royal Rumble. I don't believe so. I think she's going to have a damn strong showing. And we've talked about this 2 weeks ago with Bill, who is adamant that if she's in it, she has to win it. Guys, it's an over-the-top rope challenge. Anybody can get dumped over the top by anybody at any point. She don't need to win it. And if she gets dumped over by the top rope by somebody, that doesn't mean she's buried. She can have a really, really good showing. She can get eliminated by, the winner. She can finish second. Who gives a shit? But she ain't winning it. I don't think so anyway. SP3, you seem tired.
So guys, I just want to let y'all know. I'm just going to put it in perspective. All right.
If I had a gun, I'd fired at you.
I'm just going to explain it in like layman's terms. Maybe the wrestling business, they don't get it, Dutch. You've been in the wrestling business. I've studied the wrestling business. I'm going to put it in layman's terms, and maybe okay. You're working at a car wash. and there's a guy at the car wash that just came in, hasn't been trained yet. They still need a couple of training. It's only their first or second day on the job. And you go and you talk to the boss, and the boss says they're not ready. They're not ready yet to clean this car all on their own. So why is the customers at the car wash then telling the boss that person should be employee of the month? What are we doing? That is what y'all are doing by telling me after Triple H went out and said Jade Cargill is not ready. How do y'all jump to Jade Cargill's not ready in October to she winning the Royal Rumble and going on the main event WrestleMania in January?
Rick. Answer that.
I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot. I will not.
But in defense of that car wash worker, they're pretty good on carpet.
I mean, they
as long as they can handle that and windows, they're pretty good on that. But the whole car,
they can't even do the whole car. And the boss said they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. But no, they deserve to be the employee of the month. What? You just got here.
That is, I like that example. I really
just put that piece of coal right there on the engagement ring, before it turns into a diamond. All right. Just put that sumbitch right on there and propose to your wife with it and see how well shit works out. No, I think Jade is going to be a major star. I do think she'll be in the Rumble. I think that is a perfect place to debut her, to have her go in there in a match where any deficiencies that she still has in her game can be hidden pretty well, because it's an over-the-top rope challenge and there's going to be like however many people in the ring, and she could just dominate physically and eliminate 6, 7, 8 women in that matchup, and then get outsmarted by a savvy vet, and a couple weeks later show up on NXT and start her run. So I think that would be a great place to start her off, and I do think she'll be in the match. But win it, let's pump the brakes. Let that coal turn into the diamond that we know it can be. We did get another debut on the show tonight. Pretty Deadly was going up against Butch and a mystery partner. And finally, after about 100 years in developmental for some reason, Tyler Bate, who made his debut with WWE UK in December of 2016, finally makes it onto the main roster. This is a man who should, and it's not like this is an Aaliyah situation where it was like, well, let's see if he can sink or swim. He's been in developmental for long enough. This is a guy who should have been up 3 damn years ago at this point. He comes in. I thought this was a nice match. Crowd could not give a damn about it. I don't know why. They just didn't seem like they were impressed at all by anything in this matchup. I thought Tyler and Butch worked really, really well with one another. I'm happy for Tyler. He is going to take a minute for him to get over with the crowd, it seems like, though.
I think they reached down in the video content of Mid-South Wrestling with Bill Watts in 1986 and pulled Tyler Bate out of the slew of baby faces they had then. He looked like them. I mean, he just looked like the old Mid-Southern typical babyface underneath wrestler. And he works like that too. So, and he was making a comeback, and he was running to every heel and punching them and running over there. And everybody knows it's been a heel in this business. You feed the baby face. He doesn't feed the heels. The heels feed the baby face. So all he's got to do is turn. But wasn't a bad showing for him. I mean, I don't think the people are really looking at that. They're looking at whether they like him or not. And they're looking at some kind of connectivity. As you said, I don't think he found a lot. But he's not bad in the ring. He's okay.
SP3, I'll say this much. On SmackDown, officially now, we have the Street Profits, A-Town Down Under, Butch and Tyler Bate, LWO, Umberto and Angel, AOP, Gallows and Anderson, and Pretty Deadly. And we ain't got no tag team titles. We got 8 teams. We got 8 teams who can go.
Maybe if you had a team that's worthy of holding a title, they may get one.
I think
none of those teams are worthy of holding a title. I don't think. Not at the WWE level.
3 of them have been on the show for all of 2 weeks.
Is that a bad thing to say, Sid?
No, it's the right thing.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's what I'm saying.
You said all those teams, and I was like, well, there's teams that have held the titles before, but are they better or more over than they were the last time they were? No. And there are new teams.
I think the Street Profits have gone down.
if you introduce tag team titles to this division, I was like, all right.
They've got nothing to fight for. There's nothing over there for them to fight for at this point. I think if you give them something to strive for, to compete with one another over, it would help them, is what I'm saying.
But you don't have an anchor team. Like that was cool in 2016 when they put like a whole bunch of like Mischief or new tag teams or tag teams that used to have titles, and then you had the Usos. The Usos held it all together, and you can introduce new tag team titles, and the Usos will always be there to be the anchor. I like the Street Profits. They ain't the Usos, but the Street Profits is the best tag team out of the names that you just mentioned, but they're not at that point where they can be the anchor. There's only a few tag teams that WWE have under their roster right now that could be the anchor. The Usos were one of them, but they broke them up. There's the New Day, but they're not quite as over as they once were. There's the Creed brothers, but they're not quite ready in there yet. And there's DIY, who's not that quite over yet. Like there's always something, and that's why it's perfect to have one tag team to feud on either show with whatever team gets over, and that's why they have the team of the Judgment Day, which is just basically two upper mid-carders or main eventers together as champions, because that's what this division needs right now, because there's always and then but with all the other teams.
You can tell that Triple H is putting in some work though here to try to rebuild this division. I mean, all those.
It's a process.
Yeah, for sure. What do we think is going to go on with Shantae the Adonis? He goes into Nick Aldis's office, says he's hungry, says he wants an opportunity. Nick Aldis says he's got some interesting ideas for him. Any guesses to what those interesting ideas may be?
Well,
gentlemen?
First of all, who is Shantae Adonis? I must have missed that.
He's the other guy from Hit Row.
Oh, the other guy from Hit Row. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. What about the girl that was in there? What was her name?
Dutch, you like stole the words out of my mouth. I was like, oh, what happened to BFAB trying to be with Street Business? That was a cool story too.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I don't care about that segment that happened with Shantae the Adonis. Until they give me a reason to care, I'm just gonna forget that it even happened.
Yeah, there is one thing that like
I agree.
It's really weird.
They got to give you a reason to care, and there's no reason there.
It's really weird what Triple H does sometimes. It's like he forgets that he has certain stories that are going on, and then he remembers and he brings them back. Like Nikki Cross is like the perfect example. Like
there was never no story. Don't tell me that, Rick. There was never no story. It was just, oh, Nikki, you're gonna stare. That was it. That's it, guys.
She creeps. She's a TLC song. She's just creeping. Like that's all she's doing right now. And like, but then she'll disappear for like 4 weeks, whether she's working on her masters or whatever she's doing, and maybe that's why she's off TV. But then she comes back. She's been creeping for a year now, and it's like sometimes they forget she's there, and they're just, oh yeah, we'll put you behind this person, and then nothing ever comes out of it. They did it with BFAB. Like 1 week she's there, 1 week she's not. They bring back Isla and Alba last week. Now they nowhere to be found this week. Like. It's like he starts and stops with certain people. He starts and he stops. He starts and he stops. And it's like, would you just figure out a way?
Well, they do that a lot.
Yeah, they do. They do.
If you're going to push somebody, they got to be there every week, or you forget them because there's so much else going on. It's my idea. That's what I'm saying.
I see Orb Effect says BFAB was on the post-show thing, I guess SmackDown Lowdown. Ain't nobody watched that. I'm going to keep the same energy that anti-AEW's fans was keeping on AEW Dark and anything AEW put on their social media. If it ain't on the show, I don't care. I ain't watching.
Yeah, I don't see it. Honestly, I don't watch that, to be honest with you. Hunter saying Jade Cargill, Bianca at WrestleMania. I don't see it. I just don't.
I think it's a little early for Jade.
Unless they feel like she's ready. I don't.
They better get that girl good and ready before they throw her out there with Bianca.
Ozzy
one
saying,
match with Bianca, if she didn't hold up, it could kill her.
Ozzy asking, what if Mickie James comes back? Maybe, possibly. She floats around every now and again. Lynn asking about Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan could come back for sure at the Royal Rumble as long as she's healthy. Alexa Bliss ain't coming back for a while, a long while. She just had a baby. It's going to be quite a while until she comes back. SP3, what you got going on True Heel Heat this weekend?
Oh, we got our flagship podcast tomorrow at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. True Heel Heat 258 with our 7th annual True Heel Heat year-end awards for 2023, voted on by all of you guys. We also got Jeremy Lambert, Sat Niengi, Alex McCarthy, all on the show tomorrow. So join us.
Damn, all-stars.
Yes.
All-star panel. God dang. Dutch, you taking things easy or you got your podcast going up now?
Man, I'm just getting up and moving around now. I mean, I have one speed, or two speeds, slow and stopped. So if I do anything, I'll have to speed up. But I do one more podcast called Storytime with Dutch, and that's on the YouTube channel. You can look it up. And while you're there, subscribe. And hey, I have 105,000 subscribers right now. That's pretty good for me. And I got a trophy. I will show it next week. But anyway, write me at Dirty Dutch Mantell with 2 L's at gmail.com. And since I'm just here doing nothing, I'll probably get back to you. That's what I'm doing.
Wrestle Radio. We did talk about this a little earlier in the show. They let themselves the possibility, but I just don't. I'd be shocked if anybody else but Roman walked out with that championship of the Royal Rumble. Lynn asking,
it would be a very lackluster way to end a 4-year title run.
Yeah. Lynn asks, unless Roman's the one who gets beat, but I don't see Roman being the one that gets beat. Lynn, who will challenge Rhea? I'm 95% sure that's Becky Lynch's spot. They've been teasing it for the better part of a year at this point. Even though she just lost to Nia on Monday, I think Becky's an overwhelming favorite, one of 2 right now to win the Women's Royal Rumble. So I think it's going to be Rhea and Becky at WrestleMania. So
do they do Rhea and Nia at Perth, or do they do it at the Rumble? I think they should do it at Perth.
I think, yeah, that makes the most sense. I think that win was the biggest for Nia ever since she won the title, right? Like since she won the championship, since she squashed Alexa Bliss. Yeah, I think it was a great win for her. I loved the booking of that on Monday. I think it's a great way to fire her up and make her the challenger in Perth. And then that's another big mountain of like, oh, hey, I beat Nia. You couldn't beat Nia. What chance you think you got against me when she's going up against Becky? I think that story tells itself. I think that would be good. All right. We'll be back next week. Right, Dutch? We'll be good? You'll be good? Ready to rock and roll? Week 2 of 2024.
I hope I'm back next week. So wish me luck.
We hope so too. I'm gonna be praying because I love having Dutch back.
Thank you. Good time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with us.